Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the GBOriginal Griot. I'm your host, Ndi-GBO, Prince of Yoha. And with me today is my colleague, Mr. Victor Onochie, leadership and high performance coach, as well as a performance strategist. And we have another interesting and thought-provoking topic to delve into today. We're talking about personal integrity.
Okay.
And the concept of sowing and reaping. If it's your first time visiting us, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, and so that whenever we release new content, you would be notified immediately. And I encourage you to get a pen and pad. Let it be handy, because we're going to be dropping a lot of cool treasure troves that you'd want to save for later reference. With that being said, Victor.
Yeah, George.
Great to have you again, man.
It's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
I keep enjoying these things. I think it just keeps getting better.
Absolutely, man. Because this show is, it's all about helping people to look within themselves and figure out ways or new strategies to improve their performance, improve their lives, their output, their productivity, improve their relationships, and that's pretty much what both of our companies are all about. By the way, there's going to be the link to Mr. Victor's website in the description, so you can be able to check it out and know a lot more about what he does as well. GBOriginal Creators is my company bringing this show to you, and we are all about creating platforms for people to manifest their full potential, whether it's in business, whether it's in their relationships. All these go hand in hand. So great to have you again, Victor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Personal integrity. The theme for today's show, as we were discussing earlier, is accepting personal responsibility for what you get in life, from the thoughts and the actions that you're engaged in. That's pretty much the theme of today's episode.
Yeah.
Now, there are a few questions that we're going to be really dissecting. The first, obviously, is what is personal integrity? And we're also going to look into how does the concept of sowing and reaping affect us in life. And from there, we're going to be talking about how does personal integrity influence what we sow and inversely what we reap. And lastly, we're going to look at how can we cultivate personal integrity to enable us to get what we want, whether it be in marriage or in our relationships or in business or our careers. So
That's deep.
Indeed. They say there was a saying, I think the Hierophant in ancient Kemet, what most people know as Egypt, he said that the greatest heights will be that he who must access the greatest heights must delve into the deepest depths.
That's profound.
Yeah. So the deeper we go, the higher our potential. So let's dig in.
Okay.
Victor, what do you understand by personal responsibility?
So
personal integrity.
Okay, personal integrity. Personal integrity. I would say it simply. It's something we hear always. Is being true to yourself. And when I say being true to yourself, is understanding our uniqueness. Right. We are all, the same as human beings, but we are unique. So you have to be able to understand. What Aristotle said, know thyself.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things you have to do as you start getting conscious of yourself and your environment. You have to know yourself, and in knowing yourself, you be true to yourself. That's personal integrity. And that's to say that not everybody's passion and purpose and likes will be the same.
Yeah.
It's like you're a cocktail, let me put it that way, and I always say that a chain of ancestry line has played out to form who you are. You know, presently you have your dad, your mom came together, and okay, this person's DNA and all, it came to form who you are. But then it's been a line, lineage coming to form the uniqueness of who you are.
Yes.
And that cocktail, which is you know, sorry, I'm using the word cocktail. I like using it because it's a mixture.
Yeah.
Nature has a whole lot of gift and a whole lot inside it.
Yeah.
Which is you, which is me. And the expression of being true to that's having personal integrity. That's the way I see it.
Awesome. You know, you said it right there. Most people understand personal integrity, or at least the generally accepted notion of it, as being true to oneself. You know, and I feel that's so important on a multiplicity of levels, because Chinua Achebe, you know, the famous writer of Igbo extraction.
Yeah.
Now, he had those famous words from his most renowned book. He said, "Things fall apart because the center cannot hold."
Yeah.
Good. Now, someone else said that if the pillar that holds up the temple should collapse, the temple is sure to follow suit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, to add to that, what I say is that personal integrity supersedes all.
Agreed.
Because you are the foundation of all your life's experiences. And if you are not true to yourself, everything else is a lie.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, because, you know, we got to understand, when we look at the world we live in, and, you know, we have from every macrocosm down to the smallest unit is the individual. You know, individuals are the basis of society. Individuals come together, make families. Families come together, it's communities, nations, and, you know, the world at large.
Yeah.
So the most important unit is that individual, because you know, we're all different expressions of that universal consciousness experiencing life from a multiplicity of angles.
True.
You know, so each angle is different. It's unique in its perception. It's unique. Its own experience is obviously going to be unique. So it's so important that we do not lose sight of that uniqueness. We don't lose sight of who we are inherently.
Yeah.
In as much as we are all interconnected, in as much as we all might share a common goal, the good of humanity, but our journeys is just like on a track and field event.
Yeah.
You know, each person is in his own unique lane.
Yeah.
But we're all heading toward the same finish line.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, our paces might be different, our running styles might be different, but it's still heading in one direction.
Agreed.
So we have to be mindful of our race, how we're running it, and that's something that I feel is so profound about personal integrity.
Yeah.
Because once you lose that, I mean, everything else is just.
That's where they say you've lost yourself.
Yeah.
You've lost yourself.
Yeah.
And you're now, like you said, you're now living an illusion and a lie. And life becomes a whole lot painful, I'll put it that way.
Yes.
And it's almost you have psychologically become a slave.
Thank you.
On this sphere.
Thank you.
It's no matter how you try to look at it, it's a choice that you have now made.
Yes.
Unconscious or unconsciously.
It's a choice nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you should say that, because in the world that we live in today, I mean, not even just today, there's been this never-ending war being waged for control of our minds.
Yeah.
Through each era, through each, go through the history books.
Yeah.
It's still always been that someone or some group of persons are trying to control your minds. even we are trying to control each other's minds.
Exactly.
To an extent. I mean,
exactly.
if you set up a company or a business and you're selling a product, you're trying to influence your neighbor to some extent so they can buy from you.
Yeah.
So that our minds are constantly being fought over.
Yeah, that's it.
You know?
That's true.
So the thing is that, unfortunately, people have been subliminally programmed to be outwardly directed as opposed to being directed from within.
True.
That's where the danger is.
Yeah.
You know, and in so doing, they lose their personal integrity and are given externally generated personalities, mindsets, prejudices, philosophies, and all whatnot.
Exactly.
You know, they unwittingly give up control of their destiny in exchange for a kind of autopilot drone mode. That's basically being remote controlled by someone other than themselves.
Yeah. You know, it's nice you talk about that issue of destiny because you know, growing up, this whole thing about destiny became so religious. It became a religious term. You know, oh, my destiny and all. But one of the things we don't get to be conscious of is you are leading your destiny either consciously or unconsciously. Because destiny definitely, it means a destination.
Yeah.
Now, there's the people have come up with arguments that there's no such thing as free will, there's a free will or whatever. Yeah. Now, the thing is, in the uniqueness of you, life has given you the opportunity. It's like things have planned out perfectly that you are here at the right time.
Correct.
But life has given you that free will of choice to direct how you choose to express yourself, to create yourself. So you have to at some point decide what you want to focus on. You know, because some people, when somebody says something like, what is mine will come to me, now what I feel we have to understand in that statement is that it is true that what is yours will come to you.
Because you initiate it.
Yes. Now, if you sleep, the repercussions of just sleeping is still what is yours that will come to you. If it's poverty, if it's pain, if it's heartbreak, whatever it is, it will come to you. So it's important that we understand that this statement we make, we have to look at it in multiple ways.
Yes.
And the aspect of destiny is, you know, I tell people that, see, if you don't follow what the Christ will call the narrow road, the narrow road is because it's unique in the sense that you have chosen to go with what is resonating from you, not from what the crowd is saying should be.
Exactly.
Because it is only those who have gone through that narrow way that have been able to create meaningful lives.
Yes.
Meaningful things.
Yes.
Because there'll always be critics. In choosing the narrow way, you have to realize that you're going to get all the critics, all the haters, all the what and all that. But like Oprah said, she said, I am here to express the truest and the highest of myself.
Yes.
And in saying that, in that statement, I say, in truest you find passion, because that is personal integrity. That's where you find what is uniquely you, what you connect to. So you have to find that. Then in the highest, which she talks about, that is now the destiny, the purpose which you decide. And I believe that as human beings, we should not set small looking. We have, because the extent which you stretch your purpose determines your spiritual and personal evolution.
Correct.
Because it will determine what you need to learn, what you need to know, who you need to meet, who you need to work with. Like what is going on now is as a result of a purpose which we didn't plan. As at a few months back, we didn't know this would be happening, but somehow it's happening based on what we have decided to go after.
What you put out.
Exactly. So that aspect of destiny is something that people should understand. You know, we should all understand as a people that it's not automatic that your destination will be one wonderful place.
Yeah.
Your destination is playing out by how you are living, the thought, just like you said, the philosophy you are having.
Yeah.
It's leading you to. So we don't expect that, okay, let me just be doing what I'm doing. I know that something will. There's a possibility that, life gives us some gifts of miracles.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But guess what? There's a problem if you're not living your life and you're not directing it from inward. You will not even see opportunities around you. You might actually be having opportunities around you, but you are not even aware of it because you are because you are not true yet to yourself. Mm-hmm. You are looking for something out there. Okay, they say it's agriculture. You are good. Okay, how do I? Mm-hmm. It could be that something unique is around you which you can tap into. So this is such a huge topic. Why is it such a huge topic? Because it will determine the fulfillment and happiness of an individual, which plays out into marriages, families, organizations. People go out to do business and they're just doing a business to make money, not from a place to serve.
To serve a need.
Yeah. So the energy of making money is what is the rudder that is constantly driving decisions, rather than the need. Which, not saying that the making money is not important, but most times it should not be the overwhelming force that determines every single decision you make. Because certain risks you're going to make, it might financially, it might not really be sustainable if you want. But then, if you're able to look at it well, think about it thoughtfully, and go after it, it springs up even a whole lot of things. And this has happened in many organizations. So the issue of destiny is one we must understand, that by way of consciousness or unconsciousness, we are playing out our lives in such a way that we're already in a destiny now. The fact we are here today, it's a destiny of what we have been doing in the past to get here. So if we decide to just sit down, chill, it will create its own destiny in the future. So I think it's important for us as a people to understand that your destiny is your choice. Your destiny is your choice. I think that's important.
Yeah, that's really what it is, because once you allow yourself, or as the unfortunate case with most people, they don't even know that they've adopted, they're kind of running on autopilot.
Exactly.
When you're being outwardly directed, you're trying to fit into what your peers are doing, you're trying to copy others around you, you're trying to stick to what your parents want you to do, you're trying to,
that's one of the biggest ones,
things like that. When you're being outwardly directed, by default it means that you can't get what you want in life, because you're not the one directing your life.
You won't be satisfied.
You won't be satisfied. No matter how good you are able
whatever
to
you get, whatever it
is the accepted.
There's going to be an inner emptiness.
There's
always going to be an was it Napoleon Hill that called it hypnotic reading?
You'll always do, say, think, and perceive things through someone else's lens. Not your own.
Not your own. And how sure can you be when you are living an illusion? A copied life. And this is one of the things I discuss with even like parents, friends, and all, is the fact that think of every great person. Their parents never knew in their wildest dream that they will be that. Think of anybody who has done major important work in this sphere. They had no idea. Now imagine if the parent kept on directing that this is how you should go. They probably would never be that. So I say we have to understand that our kids are not really our own. They came through us, but they are not our own.
Exactly.
There is a spirit that guides every being, you, me, everybody. The role of parents is the one of guidance. Because as a baby and all, there's that nature has to put that young child or baby or whatever in the the sphere of a family, to take care of it to a point, to guide it, not to direct it. It's to guide it, to know how to, because if you look at children, you see them already being directed from within. How they play, what they are interested in, how they explore, how they keep on asking you all sorts of questions. So it's important to nurture them and don't try, because the problem most times, you want to look good among your fellow peers and parents, so you keep on trying to make if your child is not doing well in school, there is all that thing you're programming.
The parents are being outwardly directed.
Exactly.
Because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah. So understanding that a child can think of Einstein. Einstein literally almost was like he actually had depression at some point.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get a job. But as far as the 20th century is concerned, he's looked at as the greatest being that lived in that time. To think of what he was able to achieve. So sometimes we need to study the greats to understand how their life played out. To know that we should not have that so much grip on our children, but to give them a guide on how to, chart their own lives. I can't tell my child, you are going to be a doctor. Well, even the era now, I don't think that will even fly anymore.
It wouldn't even fly.
It won't fly anymore.
The funny thing about it, this still on the issue of parenting and relationships as well.
Yeah.
I always use this analogy when it comes to relating with your fellow human beings.
Yeah.
It's like taking a handful of sand, in the palm of your hands. As long as you keep that palm open, that sand is going to be there. But the minute you try to clench your fist around that sand, it's just going to find 101 ways to get out of you. That's what people don't understand. They say whether it's parents in relation to their children or spouses in relations to each other. To themselves, love in a way that the person feels free. Give the person you're relating with roots, but also give them wings. Don't clip their wings.
Love is about freedom.
It's about freedom.
Love is about freedom.
The roots that you're giving your children is the foundation of that loving environment.
That's it. That's it.
A loving, supportive environment that encourages them to look inward, to figure out what they want to do with themselves, to figure out why they're here. That's the environment that we as parents should be cultivating and creating for our children. The same in relation to our spouses. You find the unfortunate thing in most marriages, especially given the patriarchally leaning society that we're in. Men want to be the all in all, want to control, call all the shots, dictate to our wives every single thing. And it's not a healthy environment. It's bound to bring up resentment and resistance, and with that, a multitude of problems also emerges. Coming
to that, because you're a guy because you're a guy. I mean, I could have been a lady, but I'm a guy. Now, when I come into marriage, for instance, I should be able to respect that being that has come to join me in this thing called a family. We have to create a platform where both of us can thrive. Just like you said, the wings to fly. Now, because personal integrity has a lot to do with respect. It does not mean that we can just run amok, do anything and all. No. If I have personal integrity to myself, it requires me to also have respect for whoever I am dealing with. That means I have to have respect for my wife. In everything I am doing outside, I understand that I represent a family. And I want to ensure that I represent that family in the best possible way. It's the same thing with my wife. She would want to go out and know that now she represents a family. And she must, it's like she has to be a role model.
Yeah.
The same thing with, so that's one area. That's one thing we have to understand, that personal integrity goes also with respect for the other person and respect for yourself.
Yes.
You know, so in choosing a mate without personal integrity, you'd have a problem.
Yep.
Because you're either looking for the person who is coming from the best family, who is coming from a rich family. What you're trying, they're playing a scheme.
Yep. Scheme that the media has fed.
Yes, you're playing a scheme, and with that scheme, there's no trust.
Yes.
You know, we're talking about it before the shot.
Yes.
The very foundation for a thriving marriage is trust.
It's trust.
And trust has to be earned. And it's earned really from the character of who the both of you are. Because, I mean, you can't trust somebody that doesn't have the personal integrity, that has not built the character to be. I want to know that if your word is A, your word is A, that's personal integrity now.
Yes.
At that point, I can trust you. And wanting your word to be your bond will ensure that your A is A.
Yeah.
In that aspect, when that is the case, I mean, when we are in a family or in a marriage, there are no issues of schemes behind
the scenes.
No, because that's what kills marriages and families, that there are too many plans and setup. I mean, why would my wife not be my next of kin? There are plenty. But then, like I said, marriage is quite... it's a big thing, because there are different ways people marry. There are people that marry polygamous, you know. Yeah. I'm talking about a man and a woman marriage. That's really what I'm talking about. Yes, the one man and all. That the fact that we have to have decisions together about the future of our family. Yeah. I can't take that decision alone. Because the destiny of this family resides on the decisions. Yeah. And on our lifestyle. Yeah. So we need to understand these things to know that, okay, if we're making a decision about the family, we should have a discussion, a dialogue about it.
Sure.
You bring your point of view, I bring my point of view.
We meet in the middle.
We're able to, like I always say, create a third alternative. The reason why we are not always going to be latching or having too many issues is because, one, personal integrity, me being true to myself, I was able to get somebody who is in alignment with me.
Good.
So the values are similar.
Already on the same frequency.
And the way we are looking at the future has an alignment too, of which that has to have been shared. So in everything, there's an understanding. But when I don't know myself, when there's no personal integrity, my choice of a spouse, there's going to be a problem in the future.
That's right.
Because tomorrow I start wanting something else. I start thinking this is the way to go. You know, there's a confusion.
Yeah.
And at the point, this person is like, you are not the person I said I was good. Because something else is showing up. Yeah. It's like there's a confusion that's playing out.
That's now sprouting to the surface.
You probably love going to club, but now you don't like going to the club. There's a problem. I'm not saying that, okay, every day you guys should, but I'm saying that personal integrity helps you be true to yourself.
Yes.
That you are not a chameleon. You are straight. Yeah. What somebody see, intimacy is easy, because intimacy is intimacy. Intimacy.
Gotta write that one down.
You know, it makes it work.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand that intimacy is the deepening. It's like a spiritual connection.
Yeah.
But if I don't have personal integrity, that intimacy can't work. Because I'm always playing a game, and I'm scared of you getting to know who I really am.
Really are.
Because I do not even know who I really am.
Exactly.
That's a problem.
Exactly. The person doesn't know who he really is.
So these things are important to really make, for us to strive to make marriage. That's why when people tell me, I say, see, do the work of finding you first.
Yes.
Find you, every other thing would. The choice of what you choose to do with your life, the person you choose to marry, all those things will now be those are the surface things, you know. But find you first.
Because you're the foundation.
Yeah, you are the foundation of everything, you know.
Correct.
And from that, trust will be earned. you will become trustworthy. It's
Correct.
from trustworthy that you get trust. So it's these are just basics. And just like you said, you talked about sowing and reaping. Now imagine you not being true to yourself.
Right.
You keep sowing the wrong things. And sowing the wrong things, you'll be harvesting the very wrong things. So the understanding, once we understand this thing, sowing and reaping becomes, because it's basically the law of the farm.
Yeah.
It's just basically the law of the farm. I give this example sometimes so that I don't, I give the example. I know most people are not fans of like the top Bill Gates and all that. But then everybody has this choice of what he wants to believe.
Sure.
For me, I have so much respect for them because of the critics that were always on them when they started. I talk about Bezos and I see, for instance, let's take Bezos for instance. Bezos, when he started, people didn't think that he was going to like selling books. Dude. This guy spent 9 years without making profit, and all. But today he's what he is. That is an example of the Chinese bamboo tree, the principle of sowing and reaping. But there are some people who want to start something today and start reaping a profit now.
Not happening.
So we have to understand that when that business and the entrepreneurial plan comes together, we need to know that the business is the structure and the systems that you can use to ensure that a vision comes to play, which comes about, ensuring that money and all that stuff, profit. But first of all, it is the entrepreneurial plan. It is the book for everything. So, but what am I saying is that in the story of the Chinese bamboo tree, it says that when it is planted, it keeps being watered, and I think for about 6 years you don't see a sign of it.
Nothing. No seedling. Nothing.
Nothing. Every other stuff is sprouted. But after that, at that 6th year, within some few months, it sprouts so high. It's just that's nature trying to show us an example. It does not mean that if you plant a maize, a corn, the corn has its maybe 3 months or whatever
gestation period.
So if you want to have that Chinese bamboo tree that grows to be the biggest, the tallest, and all, you have to sow as much without even seeing results. So, but when we understand that nature teaches us from the law of the farm to understand the principle of sowing and reaping, I mean, it helps. So I'll just end there. I think
absolutely on point.
Spoken a lot.
Still on the issue of marriage.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so crucial that we grasp the part that personal integrity has to play in that very field. Just like you rightly said, how it affects our selection of our partners. Yesterday, I was listening to the audiobook of Elena Cardone. Her book, Grant Cardone's wife, exactly. Her book titled Empire: How to Have It All. And she said something really profound. She was talking about the list. How most times people have this habit of like writing down a list of all the qualities that you want in a potential partner. And she talked about how she had penned down the things that she wanted in a husband. And as she was writing that down, she wrote all the good qualities, all the good character traits, and she looked at the list. About 100 different items were on that list. And as she thought to herself, the thought just hit her, and she was like, if she was to meet a guy that actually had all these qualities that she was asking for, at that particular point in time in her life, would he be interested in her?
Boom.
You see what I'm talking about?
So you're looking at what you're going to get. You're not even thinking of what you're bringing to the table.
You are bringing to the table. That is the mistake a lot of people make.
That's
That is the mistake a lot of people make.
Yeah.
You're always thinking, what's in it for me? What am I getting? You're not thinking, what am I bringing to the table? What value am I providing to the relationship? What value am I providing to the transaction?
Exactly.
You know? This is the thing that we need a rethink.
Yeah.
And when she said this, it really hit me. I was like, whoa. So, the thought hit her and she was like, okay, a guy who's got all these 100 wonderful characteristics and everything, she started an internal audit of herself.
Exactly.
She was like, okay, this and this and this and this is how I am today.
Yeah.
Is this going to be appealing to a guy like this?
Yeah, because you have to...
and she started working on herself.
Yeah, exactly.
That point. See, that's the personal integrity in operation. A lot of people, personal integrity requires us to look at the mirror.
Exactly.
It requires us to look ourselves in the mirror. Look within yourself. Ask yourself those hard, painful questions.
Yeah.
And give yourself frank answers.
This is so powerful because, like I said, your goal will determine the level of work you're going to put in.
Precisely.
Yes. So when people are trying to find out, they need to do personal development, they need to grow, I say, see, yes, you need to do all that. But trust me, if there's anything I've learned, is your aspirations will determine what you need, who you need to be.
Correct. And
it will guide your personal development.
Yes.
So it's good that when in life you have to decide who are you going to be, and who you're going to be is what are the things you want to achieve, what are the things you want to do. So there's an integrity that is coming from within to direct to whatever it is, who you decide to marry, what you decide to do with your life and all that. Now, if you want to marry a wonderful woman, for instance, you have to be a great guy.
That's right.
If not, you become a problem. And
too,
you might not even be able to achieve to that. Because if you try to go through hook and crook to get that,
it's not
it will blow up in your face. I mean,
exactly.
People have done that and have died from high blood pressure, trying to match up, to keep up, to maintain, and all that.
You haven't upgraded yourself to that frequency.
Yeah, so you're struggling. Yes. You're constantly struggling to meet up, to catch up to, and that is stressful. It will weigh you down to self-destruction.
Yes.
You don't even get to spend time with your children. 5 years you're gone. So I say that early, find out what are your goals, what is your vision first. From your vision, you're able to know what are your goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you? That's the key question. Who am I? What's the uniqueness of me? What takes? What draws me? Because I see people have arguments from really trying to convince somebody to look at things a particular way, not knowing that what is working in you is not the same. Because when you understand that you're unique and this person is unique, when we're having a discussion, it's not going to be about trying to force somebody to be it's more like sharing ideas, learning from each other how they see, because we could read one same book and explain in totally different ways.
Yes.
You understand? So it's important that we tell ourselves what just like Cardon's wife did.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, ask yourself, can you handle that?
Can you handle that? Do you have what it takes?
Yeah.
To handle that.
And like I would say, it's not saying I don't think who I am can handle that. Then you just cancel it. No. It's good. The joy of being human, just like kids, is so that's what I want.
Yeah.
What do I need to do
to get it?
To get it. Then you start working.
That's the question.
That's always it. That's the excitement of life. That you strive to become better than who you are at that point. Nature has made it that way that we can be whatever we choose to be, as far as we are willing to sow what is required to get to reap. Result. So it's just profound. I like that.
It is, my brother. And funny enough, this thing is so deep. I mean, you talk about well, she talked about putting that list together. You know, the energy you put out into the universe is what comes back to you. When you make demands, you project that energy. This is what I want, right?
It's a frequency.
It's a frequency. It comes back to you. I still remember on this same list issue in January 2014, right? I actually wrote a list at the time. And I didn't even just keep it to myself. I actually published it on my Facebook profile.
Okay, for the wife.
Yeah.
I hope your wife is watching this right now to hear you confess these things.
You know, funny enough, I remembered that yesterday. I was like, I even had a copy of the list. I saved it on my laptop. And I was like, this was everything that I'm looking for.
Okay.
You know? And I put it out there. And that was in January, the beginning of that year, 2014. And, you know, a whole lot went through the year, 12 months and all whatnot. And by the end of the year, December, I met my wife.
Awesome.
And I didn't even meet her online. You know, that was the funniest part of it. You know, we just met through a conflagration of events and sequences. But the bottom line was that the things that I had actually put on that list
showed up
right
in real life as a human being, flesh and blood.
Right in front of me, out of the blue.
That's a great one.
And it's so profound. And you see, on that note of personal integrity, when I remember the state of mind I was in when I put that list out there, because I had been working on myself for years before that. Obviously, it's a never-ending process.
Definitely.
But the point is, I had gotten to a point in my life back then where I was not happy with what I was seeing in potential partners. And it was kind of frustrating. And I was like, okay, I have put in so much effort to build myself up to a certain level. And I feel I'm deserving of having a partner that can at least be on that frequency so we can build together.
It's allowed.
You know? And I just put it out there. Said, this is what I want. You know? And lo and behold,
response.
You know, it works.
It works, my brother. It works.
But even more than that, a lot, like you were talking about, the problems that we see in a lot of marriages today. You know, especially here, it's everywhere anyway. But I'm talking from our Nigerian context. You hear men complain about women nagging, or you hear men. You know, there's this kind of, you know, the patriarchal nature of our society here, kind of like makes a scapegoat out of women in every situation, in most situations, and I think it's very unfair, and there's a need for kind of a balance to that situation. What am I talking about? We men, right? We kind of lay claim to being the head of the family, right? Now, by all standards, a head or a leader should lead by example. And in leading by example, it requires you to have the utmost personal integrity. You've got to be true to yourself. You've got to know yourself first and foremost.
To even go and choose.
Now, you talk about the issue of infidelity. Yeah, I mean, guys who, you know, you get married and you know, all whatnot, it's all happy, and along the line, they start diverting, you know, putting ladies up in other houses, you know, or marrying them, you know, even in multiple countries. And then when the lady that you married first starts to complain about it, or as you would call it, nag, everybody raises eyebrows. Now here's the problem. This, even on Facebook, I've written various articles about this particular issue, you know, monogamy, polygamy, infidelity, and all that. It's always a contemptuous topic.
It is.
Now, after looking at it analytically and introspectively, I arrived at this. You see, the reason for all these problems is because of the lack of personal integrity in the men. Why do I say that? You know, some would say, oh, our ancestors, you know, they married multiple wives and they were happy and all whatnot. You can't, you know, compare a 21st century man and woman to a 19th or 18th century man and woman. The whole society structure was different. What was accepted as norms were different. Everything was different. Now, in this instance here, we find that thanks to globalization and westernization, you know, we've kind of taken hook, line, and sinker this kind of romantic Western idea of romanticism in our relationships. So you find that a lot of the time, guys would just, you know, they see a lady they like and you go in all out, telling her all kinds of sweet nothings and sweet things just because you want her. For one, you haven't decided, most of the time, the guys have not decided within themselves who they are. They haven't done that internal audit. Because it's one thing if you're attracted to this particular lady at this point in time. Are you the kind of fella that's attracted to multiple ladies? Or are you the kind of fella that's, you know, just one woman, one guy kind of, you know, if that's the kind of relationship you're into? Now, it's where the problems begin is because society of today kind of labels polygamy in a negative light. And most people frown on it. And thanks to religions like Christianity, where monogamy is held in higher esteem, you find that guys who have that inclination to be in relationships with multiple women, they're now trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're trying to keep up appearances. They're trying to meet the societal standard. But still they can't suppress their own innate desire.
Okay.
So that's a loss of personal integrity right there.
So I get, so what you're saying is if that's you, do you.
Do you. You know, but
and
do
don't
it sincerely.
Let whoever know that this is me. Are you cool to roll this way? And let's roll this way.
Exactly. Because, I mean, good and fine, we're not in the 19th century, but I tell you a fact, there are women who would actually not have any issues being in a polygamous relationship. Even today.
Really?
Yeah, even today, I know. But I'm not saying that's what I pander to, but I'm just saying because...
that the cards should be on the table.
The cards should be on the table. I mean, guys, you're listening to this. You see a lady out there, you like the lady, she's attractive, maybe she meets all your, you know, qualifications. Don't just, you know, we've got to be honest enough with ourselves to approach this lady. It's just like you're selling a product. I mean, you tell them, okay, this car, I'm selling this car right here. It's got this feature and that feature and all whatnot. If you get this one instead of that one, these are the benefits. Tell the lady who you are.
Be real.
Be real.
Be real.
Tell her if
it reduces a whole lot of stress in your life.
If she
because you're real, one of the things I tell people is, see, you can't get what you are not. So my point is this: if you are a trickster, if you're not straight, you can't clearly see someone who is straight. The more straight and pure you are, like the more personal integrity you have, the better you have, the better ability you have to see somebody. It's like attracts like.
Like attracts like, birds of a feather.
Yes. But if you don't have that, if you are modeled up, you will attract somebody who is modeled up. So there's a game that you guys are playing, and you guys are not seeing what is real because both of you are. There's an illusion out there. You know. But once you do the work on you, why do you think that people in all these top leaders, they have as they have grown in their role, they are able to spot talent.
Yeah.
Because over time,
They've developed that.
They have developed it to be able to see. Able to, in the beginning, it might not be that way. So people will come in, go, come in, go. But at some point, they get a pedigree when it comes to recruitment.
Yeah.
So, like everything you're saying, one of the things I believe, and that's why when it comes to marriage, people have different. I'm like, ensure that your value system about marriage
is clearly communicated.
It's communicated to the other person, and the other person
makes an informed choice.
It's an alignment. Yes. If it is, you guys have no issues.
If it's not,
go. Just let the person go.
Don't start.
But that's where the whole problem is.
It is.
I decided. I knew this is what I wanted. I was clear about it.
Yeah.
I met somebody who there was a fusion, an alignment, a total. I sold my whole case from the beginning. Yes. Like I literally sold it like as if I was trying to get elected for
exactly. That's what it is.
And she was just there listening to me, and I was,
that's what it is.
It's a serious thing. When you talked about that, you listed. So for me, why marriage is so much is a concern for me is because, George, the notion that people sell that marriage is this, marriage is hell, marriage is that, and all that, and then people now buy that is what it is. Nothing, George. There's nothing pisses me off than that thing.
Yes.
You know why? Because I was fortunate that at some point in my life, I think way back 98, we're still in school then.
Yeah.
My dad sat me down. And had a long talk. I remember that night. He had a long talk with me, and it's 22 years ago. I can't forget. Sometimes I remind him about that, and he doesn't even remember. But that's the most important day of because that's the day that directed my life. He talked to me about life, marriage, everything. And I remember that after that day, I took a book and wrote the kind of person I wanted to marry. Because he told me about, and all that. I wrote the kind of... And I used to have a prayer I always go to make. And I'll start reading all those qualities. But you see, just like you said, something started making me to understand that I am bringing also something to the table to get this kind of person.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing about these things. It directs you on what you're looking for. But over time, relationships, sometimes that's the thing. You want something. You find yourself probably entangled in something. When nature breaks up that thing, you start having worries and all. The truth is, that's not what you said you want.
Yeah.
Be cool with it because you are just in the present. You don't know what is. Steve Jobs says you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. So I'm saying this because of that I learned a lot from relationships, from other people and everything to be who I am and what I'm bringing into the table now in my marriage. But George, this is the funny thing that when I decided to get married, and I was going around telling people, I'm getting married. Everything people told I and my wife was marriage is such a very hard deal. There was nothing positive about it. And I kept asking myself, so why are we going into this thing that people feel is such of, why do people get married if this is what it is? And she looked at me one day and said, do you think this marriage thing we should go into? Because it's like when you enter it, things just change. And we sat down, we talked about it. We said, okay, let's continue. But the one thing we decided, we knew from the very beginning is, we are in this not to make it work. We are here to give each other the very best, to be happy, to go on a fulfilling journey together. We're not here to try to make it work, to ensure that the leg is not falling or no. We want to enjoy it. So in everything we are doing, that aspiration guides how we argue, what we talk about, how we decide. We want to make it a joy for each person. On Sunday will be our 6 years anniversary.
Wow.
You understand?
Congratulations.
Thank you. But what I'm saying is everything they talked about at the monstrous look of marriage, I haven't seen it yet. So me and my wife sometimes we sit down and talk about it. It's not as if we don't have misunderstanding, just like normal friends or anybody, and all.
Yeah.
We do have all that misunderstanding. But it has been the best experience in my life by far. It's been a joy. being with somebody who's got your back 100% and you having their back 100%.
Yeah.
So the mindset is one thing. How you think, don't go into marriage entitled with the entitled mindset. Oh, I'm a man and all. No. The role of the leader is the leader does the hardest work.
Yeah.
We need to get that. If you say you're the man, you do the hardest work.
You do the hardest work.
You set, it's like you're the pace setter.
Yeah.
You do if you want to go that route. So I say that how you lay your bed, that's how you're going to lie on it. So what you sow
is what you're going to
reap when it comes to marriage. When you meet somebody you want to marry, how you talk to the person with respect.
Yeah.
You learn to find what they like. You serve them.
It's all
you
about
make
service.
them happy. You make your home happy.
Yeah.
And another issue again I've realized, in terms of my journey as a coach and all, is when a man doesn't have a purpose, it will affect his marriage.
Of course.
I'm not talking about that he's working somewhere and earning big money.
The vision.
I'm talking of his purpose, his role in this world, his own, what he is out to achieve.
To achieve and accomplish.
There's a problem. He's always going to be defensive around his wife. He's always going to be, because women want somebody who knows what he's doing, where he's going to.
Yeah.
And when you have that with you, it's easy for them to, and it's the same thing with a woman. At some point, she has to have a direction.
Yeah.
Because if not, she's open to a whole lot of gossips, talks, rubbish, media, a whole lot.
Correct.
But when two of you are directed
with a common vision
for the family and all that, and understanding that as you sow, as you keep on going, it will evolve.
Yeah.
Then you guys can, even when things get hard, you don't mind. We are both in this together. We hold each other together. We support each other.
Yeah.
Pull each other up. It's a family. It's both of us. These things I feel are supposed to be understood in marriage.
Indeed.
Because I hear when guys talk about that women don't trust them. The women too will say, guys, they are just all of them are all animals and all. I'm like, if you buy that, that's
exactly
for
what
you.
You're gonna get.
I have the best thing I could think of as a woman.
Right.
I think women are amazing.
Indeed.
That's my mindset.
Yes.
So if you think women are whatever and all that, that's how you choose to look at it. Have I met women who have been? Yes, I have. But it never made me categorize them that way.
Exactly.
Because I knew at that point I recognized that, she know not what she does. If she knew more, she would do more. Who knows what I even did to make her that way or to create that situation? That's personal responsibility now.
Yes.
So, but I don't tag. I don't say, women are so men are so. Because I realize that most times when you do that, the finger is pointing to you. The Christ said, remove the log. Most times when we're complaining about certain things, sometimes we are the biggest issue in the whole, in the grand scheme of things.
I read something earlier this morning. It said, if you are judging something or someone, you are inversely exposing an unhealed part of yourself.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Because you're just, it's like you're crying out on something you haven't healed.
Something you haven't healed inside you.
So, I mean, basically, for me to wrap up in this is to say, life is responding to us.
Yes.
We can't sit down and bored and this and that. There's a lot to do. There's no time to be bored. I'm not saying that there's no place at all. Yeah. But what I'm saying is realize that what you put into your life, what you put in terms of work, the books you read, the people you relate with, the plans and strategy you work on, the mindset, what you put out will affect what you get tomorrow.
Correct.
So let's not sit down and hope that somehow magically it is work. Yes, that what we sow we shall reap. And when we want to get the Chinese bamboo tree, We have to recognize that we have to sow, and it will take time, and we'll water it. We'll weed off the weeds. There's also the part of the weeds. We have to take off the weeds.
That's right.
We'll keep on doing that, putting manure. People will be critics will keep on telling you, what the hell are you doing? Get alive. You keep on doing that.
Speaking of haters, I said something. People don't realize that hate is the most powerful fuel you can.
It is. Nature has put it out there it's called the it's part of the resistance.
Yeah.
If you break, it's required.
Yeah.
Jobs, all them jobs, Gates, all of them, Dangote, Oprah, Fela Droth, they all used critics to become even the better version of themselves.
If there's no resistance, how are you gonna?
That's like the fire.
How can you sharpen?
How can you sharpen without? There has to be a resistance.
There's got to be friction.
So understand that it's part of the whole thing. Just accept it as part of the whole thing. Like Grant will say, just do it, even when they criticize you. Tell them to do it more. Like you need more criticism.
More hate.
But you're going to where you're going to either ways.
That's right.
So I mean, we just have to boldly live our lives from a place of personal integrity.
Yes.
But like Aristotle said, know thyself. And then like Oprah say, aspire to be the truest and the highest version of yourself.
That's right.
Passion, purpose. Who you are, what ticks to you, and where you are going to as regards that.
Yes.
And I mean, you can't have it worse. You can't have it bad. You get something wonderful from that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Personal integrity. Like I said at the beginning, you are the foundation of all your life's experiences. If we can understand that every relationship we have, whether it be with our family, our parents, children, friends, spouses, friends, business associates, all of those relationships are built upon one foundation, and that's you, the individual. So for everything in our life to go right the way we want it to, we have to understand that we must be true to ourselves.
Look
inside
first before you
look yourself in the mirror and decide. Be clear. You need clarity as to who you are. Get rid of the external voices, and narrow down that inner voice.
Kill off philosophies that are not serving you.
Exactly.
Especially like, I'll just drop this. This is something that people have probably had one or two arguments and all that. You're a lady. You want to settle down with a guy. The normal thing that they'll tell me is the guy that is the guy that shows up. I'm like, try and first examine the philosophy you're running with.
Right.
Because sometimes you're so comfortable alone. You don't know, but deep in your subconscious, you are so comfortable being alone. You have to work on that. 2, you have to aspire for it, for that marriage, for that relationship. You have to want the best person you can be with. And you have to work yourself to be the best person, because if you're not the best, you'll have the issues.
You have the issues.
But aspire for that, and understand that because sometimes you go into a relationship and think you are all in all, and no, you have to come down to the level of understanding that it's about 2 people now. Look for how can you serve. Be real with somebody. Don't think it's not about you. It's not. Remove the entitlement mentality. If you stay on that, the right guy will show up. It will show up.
That's right.
I don't even go about the story of how I met my wife, but the right guy will show up. So leave the thing that I've been waiting. The guy, kill that thought first. Kill it. Let it. Just know that I want to settle down. I want to get married.
Period.
I want to start learning about marriage. I want have friends that are married, and kill off people that tell you marriage is this and that. That's them. Look for those who are enjoying their marriages. I mean, why would I go to model somebody who is not enjoying?
Who's not enjoying the marriage?
So focus on that and give it time and see what happens. Right. I felt I should drop this.
Yes, it's vital. It's vital. Marriage is so important that we understand these things. The personal integrity in the marriage, because after the individual, the family is the next rudder in society, and both of these two levels are where we see the highest concentration of problems in our community.
That's true.
Because the individual is messed up, and the individuals coming together are all messed up. So
seriously,
it's a whole mix of confusion. So we've got to attack it from the root.
From the root, which is the individual.
Yeah. And then get people to understand or change their perception about what marriage is all about. And it's not a cage. It's not a platform to oppress the other. It's a platform where two people can combine their forces
and have the best experience ever. Possible. Go through all life challenges together. I mean, because life
benefit from that the synergy.
Yeah, because life is hard.
Yeah,
life is hard to go it alone. I always say it. Life is freaking hard to go it alone.
It is.
But if you choose to go alone, fine. But when you decide to go with someone, it could be the best thing depending on how you set it out.
Correct.
It's. Correct. I really enjoyed this discussion, George.
Absolutely. And I hope that you all have been able to derive one or two, benefits or tips that can really add value to your life from this episode. Like we've been saying, you need to do that internal audit. Look within yourself, find out what it is that you can bring of value to the world, to your relationships, to your customers, to your friends, your family. Don't always ask what's in it for me. Sure, you're not trying to be on the losing end, getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Understand it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's just like the example I gave earlier, if you're trying to propose to a lady, assuming you're a guy who panders towards the polygamous marriage kind of setup. Tell the lady, look, this is part of my plan. This is the advantage that I feel we would have being in this, a polygamous relationship. And let her reason it. If she buys into the idea and is okay with it and she expresses her acceptance of that, then it's a win-win.
It's just about
and
agreement.
That even if you're adding another part to that circle, it's not going to bring all that kind of resistance and
the house wouldn't fall apart.
The house wouldn't fall apart. But once you start hiding things about yourself, playing games, you're only setting up yourself for a world of hurt. And you're also
high blood pressure and all that shit.
And you're also not being fair to the other person.
And there's always nature will always repay you.
Yes, in full, with interest.
I'm telling you, accumulated compound interest.
Yes, I mean, come on.
Any scheme like Jordan Peterson would say. He said, "You don't get away with anything.
No,
don't crap yourself.
Yeah,
don't crap yourself. You don't get away if you." That's why it's good to, have that personal integrity.
It is.
And respect another being.
Yes.
So
I feel it's very important for the men in our society that we really need to take this very issue seriously because when you hear mad statistics like up to 60% of husbands aren't the biological fathers of their children and their marriages.
That's an issue.
It's a big issue. It's easy for men to push it to the other side and say, all the women are being unfaithful. What character, what personality, what behavior are you, the man, putting up that would yield or lead to that? Because there's no smoke without fire.
Meddling with such characters.
There's no smoke without fire,
Yeah.
And then, if you were, because you have a lot of instances, guys might be living abroad, whatever their nature of business or whatever they're doing, they might have a wife here in Nigeria, and you go abroad and you're having another woman over there, and all of these things. Was that what you? Was that the agreement you had with?
That's why there has to be a vision.
There has to be a vision.
Yes, an agreement at the beginning on how things will play out. Yeah. And in that vision, you have to take responsibility of the consequences possible in line with whatever you're choosing.
That's right.
Another thing I hear where people choose somebody, you say, please help me find the wife.
Please.
Where did we get to that place here at this time? Go and choose your wife. Wife, choose your husband. Leave your father, leave your mother out of this whole thing. Leave your friends.
Yeah.
They can recommend. But at the end, choose.
Choose.
So
And
that
it starts
tomorrow,
from choosing yourself.
yeah. So that tomorrow you're not come and say, you see the guy that you gave you. When you choose your own, whatever comes out of it, you will face it.
You face it.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
But when you're waiting for daddy to choose, mommy to choose, sister to choose, why you are running away from the most
responsibility.
important, yes, and that's the most important decision you can ever make. The person you choose to live your life with.
Yeah.
So
I think
sowing and reaping, my brother.
Reaping, yep.
Sowing and reaping.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So be careful what you're sowing.
Yeah.
Sow the right seeds in your mind. You know, the right thoughts, the right principles.
Yeah. It starts from
You
that.
know, feed your mind with things that can add value to your life, so that you can be able to give value back to life, to your relationships, to everything.
And this thing we're seeing is not just in every religion, in every thought. Will I say in school of thought?
Yeah.
Sowing and reaping is a principle.
Yes.
So it's not that these ones are some mushu new age. Every book, every wisdom material talks about it.
Same thing.
It's sow and you reap.
Yeah, that's right.
So if anybody is telling you otherwise, you have to close your ears, find yourself, and start sowing what you intend to reap.
Correct.
Don't sow corn and you want to reap the Chinese bamboo tree. No.
Not gonna happen.
Or don't sow weeds and want to harvest apples and bananas.
Not gonna happen.
There has to be the equal. The seeds brings the tree, the fruits. So it's important that we inculcate that.
Excellent. Excellent. I think we're going to call it a wrap here today. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been the third episode of the GBOriginal Griot web series, and the topic that we treated today was personal integrity, sowing and reaping. I'm your host, Prince Obioha Ezagun Ndi-GBO, and with me, my colleague, Victor Onochie, leadership and high performance coach. It's been a pleasure having you, man.
Nice doing this.
Absolutely.
Look forward to doing another one.
Oh yes, definitely.
This is fun.
So, if you enjoyed what you watched today, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely share your thoughts in the comment section. We want to know what your opinion is on the various topic issues that we delved into in this discussion. And don't forget to share with your friends, family, and anyone that you feel could benefit from this content. We appreciate you all. Udo, peace, love, respect. Cheers.
Good job.
Yeah, man.